The battle-weary human captain claimed his prize, only to discover the alien slave was far more than she appeared. The war had dragged on for years, and humanity was tired. Captain Elias Vare of the Terran fleet was more than tired. He was broken. Once a rising star in the Navy, he now bore the scars of too many battles, too many friends buried among the stars, too many victories that felt more like defeats. The war against the Thalkari Empire, a coalition of alien warlords bound by blood and conquest, had claimed entire colonies. And now, at last, humanity had struck back. The Battle of Draxus Prime had ended only hours ago. The Terran fleet had smashed through the Thalkari flagship, and Elias's battalion had stormed their citadel on the planet's surface. As was customary in their twisted traditions, the defeated Thalkari leaders surrendered their spoils of war. Among the spoils were slaves, living beings taken from conquered worlds, broken and bent into service. Elias despised the practice, but he knew the Terran Council expected him to choose something. For morale, for politics, for the theater of victory. A prize. He walked through the chamber of captured spoils, ignoring jeweled trinkets, ceremonial blades, and exotic technology. Then he saw her. She was shackled, kneeling at the far end of the hall. Slender, with silver-white skin that shimmered faintly under the dim lights, and eyes like twin stars, golden, glowing faintly with an inner fire. Her hair, long and black, seemed to drink in the light. Unlike the others, she did not cower or cry. She lifted her chin and met Elias's gaze with a strange, defiant calm. The officers whispered. "That one," Elias said simply. The guards unchained her and handed him the control collar's key. Elias pocketed it but did not use it. She followed him silently as they left the hall. The journey back. The ship hummed quietly as it left Draxus Prime behind. Elias sat in his quarters, pouring himself a drink he didn't want. The alien stood by the wall, watching. She had not spoken a word since her release. "You have a name?" Elias asked finally. Her voice, when it came, was soft but clear. "Serenia." Elias studied her. She didn't look like the others, didn't look beaten down, hollowed out by years of servitude. Her eyes glowed too brightly, her back was too straight. Something was wrong. "You served the Thalkari?" "I was given no choice," she said, her tone even. "And now you belong to me," Elias muttered bitterly. A faint smile touched her lips. "Do you believe that, Captain?" He frowned. "That's how this works. At least, that's what the Council will say." "You're not like them," she said softly. "I can see it. You don't crave power. You crave peace." Elias looked away. Her words cut closer than he liked. The secrets of Serenia. Days passed aboard the Resolute. Serenia remained close, silent yet observant. She cleaned nothing, carried nothing, and yet no one stopped her. There was something about her presence that made officers avert their eyes, as if some instinct told them she was dangerous. Elias began to notice things. Lights flickered when she entered a room. Doors opened without her touching them. Once, in the training deck, he caught her moving faster than human eyes should track, catching a blade mid-swing as if she had known it was coming. "You're not a slave," Elias said one evening, confronting her. "No," she agreed calmly. "I was never theirs. I allowed them to take me." "Allowed." She stepped closer, her golden eyes glowing faintly. "I needed to be here. Among you." Elias felt his stomach tighten. "Why?" "Because your war is not what it seems. The Thalkari are not your greatest threat. Something far older stirs in the void. I was bound by oath not to reveal myself until I found one who could stand against it." Elias shook his head. "You're insane." "Am I?" Serenia lifted her hand. Golden light rippled across her skin. In an instant, the control collar around her neck disintegrated into dust. Elias staggered back, his hand instinctively reaching for his sidearm. She didn't flinch. "I am no slave, Captain. I am AIandAliens, last of the Starborn. And you are the one I have chosen." A growing bond. At first, Elias wanted to report her, to lock her away, hand her over to the council. But something in his gut told him the council would twist her into a weapon, or worse.
So, he kept her secret.
Over the weeks that followed, she told him pieces of her story. The AIandAliens were an ancient people, guardians of the stars, who had once fought against an enemy known only as the Veilborn, creatures of shadow and hunger from beyond the edges of known space. The Thalkari, she claimed, were pawns, stirred into aggression to distract humanity. "Why me?" Elias asked one night. "Because you have seen too much death, and yet you still fight," Serenia said. "Not for conquest, not for glory, but because you will not let others fall while you still draw breath. That strength is rare." Elias found himself drawn to her. Not just her beauty, though that was undeniable, but her fire, her quiet certainty. She began to train him, teaching him techniques beyond human comprehension. His reflexes sharpened, his instincts grew keener. He felt younger, alive in a way he hadn't in years. But the bond came at a cost. Word spread among the crew that their captain was spending too much time with the alien. Whispers of manipulation, corruption, betrayal. Then the fleet received orders. Return to Terra for commendations. Betrayal on Terra. The council chamber was vast, gilded, and cold. Elias stood before the High Council, Serenia at his side. "You have brought us something unique, Captain Vare," Chancellor Doran said, his eyes gleaming as he studied Serenia. "An alien of great power. She will serve humanity well." "She is not a weapon," Elias said firmly. Doran's smile sharpened. "Everything is a weapon, Captain." Guards moved forward. Elias's hand went to his sidearm, but Serenia lifted her hand. Golden light flared, and the guards froze in place, their weapons dissolving into ash. "Enough," she said, her voice resonant, almost divine. "You play at ruling the stars, but you cannot fathom what comes." The council chamber erupted in chaos. In the end, Elias and Serenia barely escaped, stealing away into the night sky aboard a small corvette. The council branded Elias a traitor, his name struck from the fleet's honor rolls. But Elias felt freer than he had in years. The coming darkness. Together they traveled to forgotten worlds, ruins older than either human or Thalkari memory. Serenia guided Elias, showing him fragments of AIandAliens archives, visions of the Veilborn, a tide of living shadow, devouring everything in its path. On one world, they unearthed a weapon, an ancient beacon meant to call others of Serenia's kind. But it was broken. "They are gone," Serenia whispered, her usual calm cracking with grief. "I am the last." "Then we'll fight," Elias said. "You don't understand," she replied. "You cannot win this war alone." "Then we'll find a way," Elias said. "That's what humans do. We survive." The choice. Months passed. Elias and Serenia became more than allies. In the quiet between journeys, they became something deeper. She was no longer the alien slave he had claimed. She was his equal, his partner, the flame that reignited his weary soul. One night, as they drifted above a dead star, Serenia spoke softly. "If you choose this path, there is no going back. You will be hunted by your own kind. The Veilborn will,